Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you a level 20 build for the Iron Revenant class mod made by Eclipse. Now this is really cool and it is loosely based on like League of Legends, but in a much less toxic game. So we're breaking down all of the best choices here to make with this and showing off the combat and gear. So we're going to be starting with the Iron Revenant class. Now what this is basically like a support tank tile class. It's pretty fun and unique. It uses souls to be able to use some more powerful spells. So at level 1 here we get to choose from different spells. I always think that shield and magic missile are two of the best for a guaranteed hit and the ability to keep yourself alive. Now what we want to roll with for our ability scores. We could roll with something like this, or you could swap around the dexterity for strength depending on what type of weapon you want to use, but constitution our main spellcasting modifier and dexterity will give us more initiative, so I'd recommend that, but strength is also a good option. And since it uses Constitution, you can also use the Constitution Amulet if you're in late Act 3, because that can literally give you the highest Constitution. You can put your points into others like Wisdom for the saves. Now at level 2, we get ourselves the Death Scrap, which does a 1d6 of necrotic damage, pull an enemy closer, or object in area 4 meters towards you. And we also get to choose another spell here from this spell list. So there are some cantrips here, so you got like Shocking Grasp, you got Hex, Command Approach being a really good one, because you can set up some different ways to use this. So we're going to roll with that, and we got some ways to be able to give ourselves advantage on wisdom saves to make it a little easier on ourselves. At level 3 we get the Obliterate, which is kind of like our smites, but it does additional necrotic damage on attacks, and we also get ourselves the Tyrant's Orders, jump to an ally in range and grant them 1d6 of temporary health as a bonus action and 2 souls. And then we also got Misty Step, the ever powerful. So for our next spell that we'll be taking, Chromatic Orb is not bad for a bunch of different damage options. Minor Illusion's nice outside of combat too in Mage Hand. It's also kind of funny you get to speak with the dead there, so it's another option we got. Inflict Wounds is not bad too, but at level 4 we get the Indestructible. It does a 1d6 plus 9 healing, heal yourself, and gain a 1d6 temporary health. We also get to choose from Knock, Silence, Mage Armor, and Hold Person, which is my personal preference there. And we get to take an ability score improvement. So you can take up your Constitution if you're using the Dexterity, or if you're using the Constitution Amulet, put up your Dexterity for better armor class, or take the Alert feat. At level 5, this gives us a Kaiser's Decree, taunt all nearby enemies into attacking you. So uses the goading from the Beastmaster Ranger, and then we get some spells here. So you can, again, take Hex, not a bad one. And we got to choose a Path of Domination. So you get the Revenant Offensive, this will lose AC, and Obliterate will cost souls instead of an action. Or this one here, the Defensive, gain action, or armor class, and health points and decrees will cost a bonus action instead of an action. We're going to go with the Offensive path, just to show it's possible, even though this is more defensive focused. This is the action economy in Baldur's Gate 3 prefers you to do more offensive options. At level 6, we get our Domination, so summon a familiar that'll aid you in combat. I'll show what that looks like. And we also get a choice of spells between Vampiric Touch, Mage Armor, Silence. Vampiric Touch is not bad to be able to heal yourself. It's not going to be powerful, but it's an option. Level 7 gives us the Grave Knight. You get resistance to bludgeoning, slashing, and necrotic damage, which is definitely nice to have. Then we just get a same old spell selection. So, I mean, Inflict Wounds with upcasting is not terrible. Not going to be as strong as some of the other options, but it's there. At level 8, you get Undying. You can defy death. Instead of dying, you regain 20% or 50% of your maximum health, so you can come back alive. And you also get like Death Ward, which will basically do the same thing. And there's also the Blade spell, which is nice. Here we can take Alert for the +5 initiative, or if you want to use more melee attacks, you got Savage Attacker there, which will reroll damage die. It's another option you got, but max out your Constitution. I'm just going to use the Constitution Amulet to make it easy. At level 9, we get the Immoral Bastion. Stop a spell from being cast if you have temporary health. So it's a basic counter spell if you have temp health. And we also get to choose from different spells here. Again, False Life, Thorn Whip can be nice to pull enemies towards yourself. You're not going to be using those as much as some other options though. At level 10, we get the Realm of Death. Create an aura which enemies are blinded, have disadvantage, and take damage at the end of their turns and the start of their turns. 10 turns, 18 meters, and to concentration. Pretty good because it does necrotic and acid damage there. We also get to choose from spells here with Blight and Hold Monster being some of the most powerful ones. And you get to choose the Path of Domination here. Offensive Juggernaut, lose AC, and Obliterate will, and you can use the Soul Release skill. Or the Defensive Path, which gives you AC, and then you can use the Soul Offering skill. So this Soul Offering, offer all souls of the Death Realm to your allies and heal them, sacrificing 50% of your max health and giving them a massive heal. And the Offensive Juggernaut, release those souls, sacrifice 50% of your max health to refill your souls. So I think the heal is a little bit better just for the overall survivability, so we're going to take that one instead. At level 11, we get our Aura of Obliteration. Basically a 9-meter radius where targets are vulnerable to necrotic and bludgeoning damage. Huge. So our necrotic spells will do now double damage. Pretty crazy. So we'll just take Poison Spray, I guess, as a cantrip there. At level 12, we get our Globe of Invulnerability, huge powerful spell, and we'll take our Blade because we can ignore resistances to that. And we may as well max out our Dexterity or whatever weapon attack stat you want to use. Dexterity just gives you more armor class. At level 13, we get to take a couple spells. So we can take like Ice Knife and Thunder Wave. Thunder Wave being a nice pushback spell. Level 14 gives us 2 more spells, and there's nothing really dire here to take, so we're just getting level 1 spells. So your personal preference at this point. And then you just get another couple spells. Yeah, so that's that. Level 16, we get a couple more spells, and then we also get a feat. So you can go with, we got our ability score improvement, we got our constitution up high. So we could even add in like the if you want Spell Sniper to increase your critical hit chance and take Eldritch Blast, it's not a bad idea, honestly. Increase critical hit chance with spells, decent. Just continually keep taking spells here. We don't really need to use many of those. We got other options that we're going to be using because we got a lot of necrotic options too. And then level 19 here, last couple spells. And then finally for our final level here, we get a extra bonus action and your hit point maximum increases by 50%. Pretty big power spike. We can only select one of those spells there, and then we get ourselves the final feat, which we can go with like the Sentinel's not bad. Give yourself a reaction. Now it's fixed. Savage Attacker if you really want to use melee attacks, and Lucky's not a bad one. I also like to go with the Tough feat because this will give 2 extra health, so we can actually become insanely tanky with that. Normally we have 583 health is right above me. Now we have 623, so that gives an extra 40 health. We're tanky. We don't do a lot of damage, but we're tanky. We're definitely that. Giving yourself like the option for like the necrotic area resistances and things like that makes us pretty strong. So you also got the soul offering, which you can use to buff up our teammates. So this mod actually comes with its own armor, the Final Rain. It's not currently on console. It will be updated in a future update. This will reduce damage by 1 whenever you're healed. You restore the max amount of heals. All incoming damage reduced by 2. Resistance necrotic and advantage on Constitution saving throws. Not super necessary. You can go with some other options. Like there's other things that work pretty well here. But you can also just roll with that if you prefer. Since it's the mod's armor, I will wear it just for the purpose of this video. And it also gives us the Nightfall here, which is 2d8 plus 10 plus a 2d4 plus I'm also using the Hellas Gloves for extra fire. But advantage on attack rolls against undead. You can use a reaction to do additional necrotic damage, similar to the Duelist Prerogative, and it sets your Constitution to 18. Also gives you the Challenge to Duel, and also the Hurt the Flesh attack here. 27 to 44 damage, thrust forward your Diabolical Precision, possibly stimming your target's ability to heal. Huge. Also like the Helm of Baldur, Cloak Protection, Helldust Gloves, Evasive Shoes. That gives us a 38 armor class, which is pretty high. Plus 10 from Constitution. We also have Viconia's Walking Fortress, Amulet of Greater Health, Killer Sweetheart, and Ring of Protection alongside Hellrider Longbow for that plus 3 to initiative. So we're going to go first. We're going to have a lot of health. We'll outlive everybody else. We got lots of different healings. So you can heal ourselves and give ourselves temporary health points. We're tanky, very, very tanky. We can draw all aggro towards ourselves. So I'll show you what this looks like in combat. So we'll use the Dominion skill here. You also get an extra action, bonus action. So it becomes pretty strong. We got Counterspell that happens. So I guess we can't do that again for short rest. But I'll show that off after the combat. We don't have enough souls to be able to cast some of our more powerful spells, so I'm just going to use the Kaiser's Decree here to draw all aggro towards ourselves. Since we got the most amount of survivability, we may as well have all aggro coming towards us. And then we can use our Blade spell on some of the more damaging targets, like any type of caster. You want to get rid of them pretty quickly. We also got ourselves the Darkness Rise Aura. Spirits protect the affected enemy. Nearby enemies take necrotic damage and movement speed's half. So basically it gives you the Spirit Guardians on attack. Now we want to get our souls back up so that we can cast more spells, but they're only once per turn. But we do have a very powerful melee attack, so we'll show that off there. Yeah, a lot of good damage, and we have Withering Cut too, so we can apply extra damage on top of that. Then we have our Soul Offering if we need to replenish any health. We got Hex, we got Misty Step. We got a lot of different things here. So we got our souls back, so we may as well use the Realm of Death, which will blind all targets that are nearby us, and it's actually quite a large realm. So this is nice because once they're blinded, they have disadvantage on their attacks. And then we can go around using our powerful Blade spell to take out enemies. So we'll just go after and hit this target over here. Anyone that's in our realm, it's someone that's going to be taking damage and being blinded. So it's better to go after some other targets here. We also do have the Globe of Invulnerability, but we can't really cast that because we don't have level. I guess we do have level 6 spell slots, but we don't want to cast that when we already have our concentration set up here. We also have the Soul Offering, which is nice because you can use this to be able to replenish health. So Shadowheart got down there. This will give her 53 health. Pretty nice little change there. It does take out half of your health, so we want to be able to use something to replenish ours. Likely on our next turn, we got other options. Then we can jump to an ally and then give them temporary health with our indestructible there, which is really nice. And then we can just loop our way back around to set up that blind in this area, or be in the blinded area. So they're taking a bunch of damage being in our zone here. As you can see, it's just super effective at crowd controlling and dealing damage. You can see there we took out another target, which is just perfect. So we can taunt them again to just attacking us, or we got a lot of other more powerful spells, and even just the good old-fashioned Eldritch Blast if we wanted to. So that's the last target there. And we can use an upcasted inflict wounds is really strong, or we can just run into them because of our deathly aura. So that is the Iron Revenant class mod made by Eclipse there. It's a pretty cool one. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the subscribe button below if you haven't already, and I'll see you all in the next video.